Good evening, everyone. Evening is not good.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Evening, ma'am.
Okay. People are still joining. Now this has become fixed, no? 7-5. Instead of 7, it has become 7-5 now. Okay, we'll start now. Although 50% of the audience is not there, but can't wait for more. Okay, today we are going to do the act which I had told you all yesterday. Okay, so yesterday I gave you all a very brief introduction before actually getting into the Customs Tariff Act. So, which is a section which basically directs us to the Customs Tariff Act. Which law tells us to refer to the Customs Tariff Act? You all are able to hear me, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so please answer my question. Which law tells us to refer to the Customs Tariff Act for the duties, for the custom duties?
Section 12 of Customs Act.
Section 12 of Customs Act, you have to say that in complete
1962.
1962. Okay, so
But ma'am, it was applicable from 1963, right?
yeah, because of the what do you say, commencement.
Okay.
Okay, so let me go to the whiteboard. So Section 12 of Custom Act 1962 is what is the, basically we call it as the charging section, or the law, the main law, due to which everything starts. This is basically a trigger section. Like, why do you file a bill of entry for import clearance? Why do you file a shipping bill for export clearance? Why do you have to do assessment? Why the shipment has to go through examination? Why all these procedures and everything. When we are asking why, basically it is because of Section 12 of Custom Act 1962. So because Section 12 has to be imposed, you have to make an entry in customs, you have to get your goods examined, you have to get them inspected, you have to get your documents verified, and you have to legally do the clearance of your goods from customs. And whatever dues are there to the government, you have to pay. You are supposed to pay and then take the goods home or export the goods out. So this is basically the main section, or the charging section, which drives all other you know provisions in the act and all other procedures. It gives the direction to what procedures have to be carried out. So what does Section 12 tell us? Now, if we go to the CBIC website, okay, if we open this act, okay, so I'll just click here again, open this act. So Custom Act 1962 is here already entered. Okay, I want to go to that respective section, which is Section 12. And when we read it, what does it state here? The title of this section is Dutiable Goods. And what does it say? Subsection 1 says, except as otherwise provided in this act or any other law for the time being in force, duties of customs shall be levied at such rates as may be specified under the Customs Tariff Act 1975, 51 of 1975, or any other law for the time being in force on goods imported into or exported from India. This is the first subsection. Second subsection says the provisions of this subsection 1, which we just read, shall apply in respect of all goods, whether they belong to the government, as they apply in respect of all goods not belonging to the government. So whether it's a government owned goods, or whether it is a private owned goods, or any other owned goods, it doesn't really matter. The application or the liability of the duty becomes applicable to any goods, irrespective who owns it. So these are two important things which are mentioned in Section 12. Okay, so what did we see? One is it is applicable for imports. I'm just writing in short so that you all can understand it in a very simple form. It is applicable for imports and exports. Okay, duties have to be taken, duties have to be referred from Customs Tariff Act 1975 or any other law for the time being in force. That means whatever law is revoked, that doesn't apply. It should be an active taxation law or a levy law which should be in force. And the third part is applies to government and non-government goods. Is this in short Section 12? What we just read?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Now from section 12, it is telling us to go to Customs Tariff Act 1975 and any other law or any other law for the time being in force. But before that, let us understand a bit about, you know, how this levies and all take place. I mean, what is the constitution? What is a taxable event? We should understand these kind of parameters before we enter the law. So it's a constitutional provision and levy of duty. Okay, so it's Article 2. The articles are from the Constitution. Article 265, Article 246. I will not read it, but I would want you all to read it. Okay, basically these are the articles which, in India it's a federal way of functioning, right? That means there is a union and there is a state. So it is applicable to the whole country. Whatever laws are made by the state, it is applicable to that state, and both are governed by the Constitution of India. So if any law has to be enforced in the country or in a state, the Constitution should give that particular authority to levy that or to enforce or to impose that particular tax or duty. Okay, so Article 265, taxes not to be imposed save by authority of law, that is, no tax shall be levied or collected except under authority of law. So two types of taxes are basically collected, which the right is given to the government of India from the Constitution, that they can levy taxes in two types. One is a direct and in the direct method, and the other one is the indirect method. Authority to make any law is given in this article. So laws are made by the parliament or by the legislature of states or both. So parliament makes laws for the whole or part of the territory of India, and the legislature of a state makes the laws for the whole or any part of the state. I just mentioned union and state. India is federal, not a unitary state, so laws are enacted by the parliament and by the legislation. So the allocation of subjects between the union and the state is spelled out by Article 246 of the Constitution through the Schedule 7. Further on, Schedule 7 divides the legislative powers into into three lists. One is a union list, second is the state list, and third is the concurrent list. Now, each list is specified. List 1 is basically from the central, okay? So, what the parliament has, defined and made to be applied. List 2 is basically from the state, and list 3 enumerates the matters in respect of which both the parliament and legislature of any state have powers to make laws. This is a little bit deep, but just for a broader understanding, please remember that when we are learning the sections of certain acts, first and foremost, how did Custom Act come into force? Just like that, government cannot make laws or make acts. There has to be a authority that is to be empowered on the government to make an act, to make a law. So that empowerment is given by the constitutional. So there are articles are given to you just for your understanding, which article under what, and how the authority is basically given to the government to make laws, whether it is a central government or whether it is a state government. So there are certain list of acts, list of laws which are given by the central, which are given by the state, and which are basically given by both state and central, where we have to abide by both. Like Custom Act is a central law, and if we consider our state act, we can consider like something which what you can say. Um, Pertaining to the state taxes. But now with GST, most of the things are unified. It just come under a single umbrella. Otherwise, earlier we had our own taxation laws. The states had their own taxation laws, so that was to be followed as per the state enforcement. Okay. Further on, what is the hierarchy? So the topmost is the constitution. Okay, so that is the supreme law. Then all acts or laws emanate from the constitution. The second is the acts, the next is the rules, the third is the regulations, then comes your notifications, and then comes your circulars and further instructions. So उसमें पूरा तुम्हारा notices, standing orders वगैरह सब आ गए, वो सब cover हो गए in the last part. So this is the hierarchy of what you can say is tax. Now there are certain things like you can challenge, like a circular can be challenged, a public notice can be challenged. Okay, that what do you say? Either the department or the trade can proceed with that. Now coming to the taxable event, like when does a tax become applicable? When can you apply tax? Now we all know custom duty is coming under direct or indirect.
Indirect.
It comes under indirect. Why do you think these words are used, direct and indirect? Anybody can explain the meaning?
Because burden can be carried forward.
Burden can be
Carry forward.
carried forward. That means it can be transferred. That
Yes,
means it
yes.
is not which one can be carried forward, direct or indirect?
Indirect.
Indirect. So it is basically not, see, something which is not directly levied on an individual, okay, or an entity is a indirect tax. So it can pass on, you can transfer it, okay. So that's why this is, because it is applied on goods and services. Now coming back to the taxable event. Now section 12 says that when goods are imported into India and when goods are to be exported from India, duties are liable. So when the duty becomes liable? So when we say, yesterday we were talking, what does India mean? So India includes the territorial waters. So when the goods enter, say we are assuming a situation of imports. So the goods have entered the 12 nautical miles, which is the territorial waters. So what does that mean? That means the goods are already imported or import has begun. Out of charge, okay, then they cease to become imported goods. So the taxable event, it commences the moment the goods enter the territorial waters, and the taxable event is completed when the revenues are paid, due whatever due revenues are paid, and the out of charges taken for the goods for home consumption. Okay, is this clear? Understood? Yeah, so this also means the same thing. So now supposing I'll just give you an example. Like you have imported a bike, okay, and you got it cleared. So now is the time to show off, because it's a, you know, uh, an exclusive bike. So you would definitely want to show off in your family, friends, circle, everywhere. So what do you say? How do you do show off of the bike which you have imported?
इंपोर्ट करवा के लाइए.
नहीं, सच बोलो, ये imported है. These are
हाँ
imported goods.
हाँ वही वही.
लेकिन वो स्टेटमेंट गलत हो गया ना. टेक्निकली जब अभी हमको समझ में आया है कि टैक्सेबल इवेंट कब स्टार्ट होता है और कब खत्म होता है, और जब टैक्सेबल इवेंट खत्म हो गया, द गुड्स आर सीज्ड to be notified or considered as imported goods, then the statement which is being stated that these are imported goods, that means what does it mean? You have not paid the duty, illegally उसको smuggle करके आपने लिया है, ऐसा भी सोच सकते हैं ना, टेक्निकल मैं बात कर रही हूँ.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have to understand the meaning of these, terms and terminologies. So when you say imported, imported is till the time you have not paid, you have not paid the revenue, or till the time you have not done the out of charge. Okay, so until then you refer to them as imported goods. So that is something which one has to remember. Okay, now let me take you to the CBIC website again, because we have to come to our Customs Tariff Act now. Okay, so again I go to the Act tab. Okay, so now here Custom Act is there, but now I will go to the Customs Tariff Act 1975. Okay, so we have all our sections placed over here one by one, which we will be now dealing one by one. Okay, so Customs Tariff Act 1975 and any other law for the time being enforced. This is what Section 12 told us. So when we go to the Customs Tariff Act 1975, what we get to see is we get to see, in Section 2, duties specified in the schedules to be levied. So this is a section where, we have come from the Custom Act. See, you can see the rates at which duties of customs shall be levied under the Custom Act 1962, 52 of 1962 are specified in the first and second schedules. What is your first and second schedule which is being stated over here? What
First
schedules are?
schedule, first schedule is for import and second schedule is for export.
Okay, I hope everyone else is following, because only one person is replying to me, one person is interacting. So I am assuming that everyone else is also on the same page.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. So we go to Section 2 of Customs Tariff Act 1975. What does it tell us? Whatever Custom Act told you that duty is liable, you will find that in the first schedule and in the second schedule. First schedule is for the imports. If yours is an import case, you refer to the schedule 1. If it is your export case, you refer to the second schedule. This is what Section 2 of Customs Tariff Act 1975 is directing us to. Okay. Now, Customs Act also said any other law for the time being in force. So when any other law means, what laws can we think of? So we can think of the Finance Act. There are some charges which Finance Act says that it needs to be collected via during importation or exportation. Then there are some cess act. So there are some kind of cess which sometimes becomes applicable during importation or exportation. Then there are some allied acts basis on which certain duties and taxes are to be applied. So we have to also understand those. And then there are some notifications, okay, which tell us that if import is done, if export is done, then as per this notification, this tax or this percentage or this amount needs to be collected or needs to be paid to the government of India as a in towards so and so, so and so, so and so. So these
GST
are,
also, ma'am.
pardon.
GST.
So it comes everything, no, GST Act, GST notification, all that is also in. When I said allied acts means everything comes into it. Okay. So this is what Section 12 has, given the direction to us. Now let us go back to our Custom Tariff Act, which is our today's, um, you know, topic for the session. We went to Section 2 directly, but let us read Section 1. Now, any act you open, the Section 1 will give you this particular details itself every time. Any act. India का कोई भी act आप open करो, it will start with short title, extent and commencement, because it is important to name the act, what act it is. It is important to define what is the scope of the act, and it is also important to define from when the act will come into force, from when the provisions can come into force. These are the three important things which needs to be announced before the provisions are laid out and before the processes are being explained in the provisions of that particular act. So over here, if you see, the title is given over there that this act may be called the Customs Tariff Act 1975. It extends to the whole of India, okay, and it shall come into force on such date, that is, as the central government may by notification in the official gazette appoint. So you see that there is a small, at the affix it is 1 and 2. So that is written in blue at the bottom. Okay. So now, section 2 told us that for imports you refer to the import schedule. So if you all remember, when we were looking at the scheduled chapter and the table, there was the last column 4 and 5 where the percentages were written. So standard rate was the title given in the column. So what type of duty is being referred in the schedule, and what type of duty is being announced under section 2 of the Customs Tariff Act 1975? Which type of duty is
Basic,
being referred here? Yes,
basic customs duty.
the basic customs duty is being referred over here, and it is being quoted as the standard schedule duty. Okay. Now this can be indicated in the form of percentage, which is called as
Ad
ad valorem.
valorem.
That means
And
to be applied
as per tariff. No,
on
sorry,
value.
on value.
Ad valorem means on value, percentage
On
on
value.
value.
And
Okay.
specific
Yes. The second type of duty is called specific. So that means it is to be applied on unit.
unit.
Okay. So you will not have it in a percentage form. It may be like rupees something something per mm, or per kgs or per liter, whatever. The it will be defined in that. So here this you will find in column 4 of the schedule. Of every chapter in column 4 you will find this duty. For what? For imports. When we say schedule 1 for imports. Okay. And in the exports, there are the table is it's very simple. The table, you have a tariff item column, you have a description, and then you have a rate of duty column. That's it. You don't have an exhaustive table like how you have for imports. The export schedule is very simplified because there are only few items which are listed in that schedule which are to be referred, and duties, if at all it is to be applied, will be applied on paid.
Only
Right?
56 articles.
Yeah, that's what. Only 56 headings are there in the export schedule. Anyways,
Ma'am, this
now
we are
let's.
this we are referring to custom tariff act, right? Where is the schedule?
Uh, where is the schedule? You remember this? You
Yes,
remember this?
yes.
Okay. You remember this,
Okay.
right? What is this? This is
Import tariff.
import tariff is your schedule 1, and export tariff is your schedule 2, second schedule. So when we were classifying whatever table we were going through, that is your schedule 1. All your chapters and sections are your schedule 1.
Okay.
An export schedule, let me show it to you over here. That's it. You have 4 columns. Okay. You have a serial number, you have a chapter heading, subheading, tariff item number. That means a 2-digit number, a 4-digit number, a 6-digit number, or a 8-digit number can be written over here. Description of the goods are given and what is the rate of duty. And this table is not very exhaustive like how you have so many chapters in import schedule, but you have around this many items. Okay,
ma'am.
the schedule ends. Export schedule is over. So you see it's only 12 pages if you see the export schedule. because the notifications of export is given immediately after the schedule is ending. So everything you'll find here, your serial number of the export schedule, your description of the goods, your rate of duty, that is export rate of duty, your export exemption notifications, everything you will find it in the second schedule itself. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank
So
you.
this is what section 2 is telling us of Custom Tariff Act, that whatever Customs Act have told you that duty has to be paid, you pay it according to Schedule 1 for imports and you pay it according to Schedule 2 for exports. Okay, till here it is clear?
Now understood.
Good. Okay, so I have just listed, the different types of custom duties or taxes which are normally we come across in our, clearances. Not that everything comes every time. In certain situations, certain duties may not come. In certain situations, they come. But yeah, there are certain duties which come in every situation. So we'll understand all that one by one. Okay. So this is what we just read. Now, how is when we said ad valorem? Okay, we said a percentage on value. So supposing if I say, what value is being referred over here? Can somebody who knows can comment on this? What value are we talking? I'll give you options. Is it invoice value? Is it accessible value?
Accessible value.
Accessible.
Okay. Another question. Is invoice value equal to accessible value?
No.
No.
Not necessary. Okay. Unless Incoterm is,
CIF.
then it is equal to
Accessible value.
accessible.